This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich, founder of Abich Financial Services.
Abe, we got to take our nest egg and we got to make it juicy now. And you're going to help us, right?
Like a juicy steak.
That's it.
Like a juicy tomahawk steak.
Perfect. That we are going to enjoy for 20, 30, 40 years to come of a happy,
Not
healthy
the steak,
retirement.
Your retirement.
Right. Well, I mean, if the idea is, taking our nest egg and creating, this article talks about that I want to talk to you about. This is Abe Abich, financial advisor, founder of Abich Financial Services, and I'm Heather Branch, here to ask Abe how we can make our retirement juicy. I'm taking the words out of an article from Investors Business Daily. They were talking about suggestions on ways to, quote, turn your portfolio into a juicy retirement paycheck. And they had some suggestions. And I think some of it aligns with what you believe in, but I think that there are also some things here that you might say, well, let's look at this because it's a little bit, It falls into that blanket advice space as a lot of the stuff that we talk about on our podcast and radio programs do. So in this article, some of the suggestions that they gave in the way of turning our portfolio into our retirement paycheck, a juicy paycheck, is one, have a withdrawal strategy and that it's okay to get into the principal.
Yes.
2, put some cash into a money market fund. 3, convert your 401k to an annuity. And 4, use bonds for additional income and stocks for growth. So let's break down these suggestions and give us your insight on what you think. And perhaps at Abich Financial Services, add in what you do there to, again, create this juicy paycheck.
Well, first off, if you haven't already and you're watching this right now, you want to have this mindset shift and switch where you do go or start going from pure growth. Oftentimes we have people come in, Heather, with 80, 90, 100% stocks. Yeah. It just had a couple come in recently, 100% stocks. They're in their 60s. And that was a big reason why they came in. I mean, they knew they were taking on too much risk and wanted to find ways to change and put together a better plan. But if you haven't already, you need to have this mindset shift and switch where you start thinking and transitioning from, okay, pure growth, pedal to the metal to both growth and income. Once you have that change in mentality and philosophy, then you'll naturally want to change the plan if you haven't already. And you want to start thinking about, hey, I've just worked my entire life and career to get to this point where I can retire. Now it's time to enjoy it, right? Not just watch it sit there and ramp up and grow, but actively withdraw from it. So you can accomplish both. You can accomplish continued growth, which you do need and want, which the way this money gets you into your 80s and 90s and you're not running out of it in your later years, but that you can also enjoy it and spend it. And so we'll just ask a lot of questions, of our clients about what they want to accomplish, how much income they want or need, what's on their bucket list, what types of things what they want to do, what's important to them. Is traveling important? Is spending money important? Is preserving it important? Is passing money on important? And then we'll come up with strategies basically to help them accomplish those goals. And for some people, legacy is not important. Their kids are well off. Their kids have really good jobs. For some people, legacy is important. For some people, spending money in this next 5 to 10 years, like actively pursuing trips, going on nice vacations, they want to get that out of the way and make sure they do those things in their go-go years before they get into their slow-go years, right? You've got your go-go years, slow-go years, no-go years. You don't want to wait until your no-go years. You don't want to wait till you're 85 or older and have regrets and wish you had done something in your 60s. So first off, in the article, the first of the 4 suggestions is have a withdrawal strategy and that it's okay to get into your principal, meaning starting to suspend down some of your principal. And I agree for a lot of people. So number one, you do need and want a retirement income plan, a roadmap, a withdrawal and distribution strategy. Again, it just makes common sense.
Sure.
You've worked your entire life to get here. Your paycheck is about to end or has ended. Your work is done. Now the work needs to start from the portfolio in terms of income generation and distribution. So you need a plan around how that income is going to come out, which accounts it comes from, what percentages of the portfolio come out, which accounts to tap first, which accounts to tap last. Like the Roth IRAs, if you have any Roth IRA money, those are probably going to be the last dollars you go to because they're the most tax advantaged. They're tax free.
Okay.
You can access those dollars tax free over your lifetime. You can pass them on tax free to your loved ones. So first off, number one, build a retirement income plan and roadmap. You can call it a withdrawal strategy, distribution strategy, and know that it is okay if you don't want to pass on 100% of the money you've saved or more to your loved ones, that it is okay to start spending down.
You don't owe
your principal.
anybody anything. It's your money.
That's right. A lot of people don't want to pass on anything.
I know.
Some people don't have like loved ones left. And so legacy is not important. Maybe they want to donate it all away. But a lot of people do not care about spending every last penny down. That's fine.
Right.
If that's the case, we're definitely going to be eating into the principal on purpose, not so that you run out at age 80, but so that it lasts you the rest of your life. But, taking out 4% of your portfolio, that's not going to be the rule you follow if you want to eat into your principal or spend down all of your life savings. Maybe you actively are taking out 5, 6, 7% of your accounts to get to the point where you feel like you've really enjoyed what you've worked so hard for in your distribution years. So number one, having a withdrawal strategy, we call it an income plan here at Abich, a retirement roadmap, is crucial. It's the first thing we do with our prospective clients. It's one of the reports we always go back into with our current clients. Every 90 days as we're having reviews, we're updating the income plan, updating the roadmap, making sure all the numbers are accurate, making sure that it aligns with where our clients are in their lives.
Right.
And it's like 2 pages. So it's really nice. It's got all of your income streams there on 2 pages, not some 50-page report. It's simple, concise, easy to understand, and our clients love it. Number 2 in the article, the second suggestion is to have some cash in a money market fund. And the article is saying, well, currently yields on cash are around 4, meaning cash can make around 4 in a money market, which is true right now as of the time of this recording. The article recommends parking the cash you raise in a money market fund, then drawing down on some of the cash to cover expenses. It's not the worst advice in the world, especially in your early years in retirement, and especially if you have a lot of extra cash to spend down. Maybe, Heather, you have hundreds of thousands of dollars above and beyond your emergency funds. If that's the case, like sometimes we see people coming in, Heather, with $500,000, $1 million in cash on top of a portfolio that's 2, 3, 4, 5 million. Well, if that's the case for you and you're watching this right now, maybe we do to spend down some of the cash, the asset that's earning the least amount of money, but still earning maybe 4 right now, and hold off on withdrawing down from the assets that are maybe making 6, 7, 8, whatever it is you're making on the stock market side.
Does moving cash into a money market account, does that decrease the liquidity in any kind of way? I think a lot of people and myself included, it's like, I know that I'm not getting as much return as I could be in just a standard bank savings account, but it's right there. I can get it whenever I need it.
Yeah. A money market fund might not be as liquid as like cash in the bank, but it's pretty darn liquid.
Okay.
If you think about what you're getting on cash and why you're getting, 3 to 4% on cash, it's because it is liquid. When investments aren't as liquid, typically you can get a little bit more return, right? In the stock market, and assets in the market can be liquid as well. But money market funds are pretty darn liquid. You're talking about getting access to those funds within a day or 2.
Okay.
They do have to settle and trade, unlike cash in a bank.
Right.
But the current yield is around 4. And so not a bad suggestion to have some money in a money market, especially if you have expenses are coming down the pike, like a wedding. Your daughter's getting married, you're buying a boat, you're doing a kitchen renovation. You need money for a down payment on a second home, doing work on the house. And you're like, Abe and the team, I know this is coming down the pike this year in 2025 or 2026. Maybe it's prudent to set aside X amount in cash or a cash-like instrument like a money market fund to make sure it's safe while it sits there, but it's earning as much as it can.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. So considering money market funds for our cash, next suggestion, creating the paycheck, is about an annuity. And before you switch off, podcast listener, we're not here to hawk an annuity. Yes. Yeah. At Abich Financial Services, they definitely use annuities in the plans they build, but that does not mean an annuity is right for everybody. They are not going to force anybody into annuities. This is, I think, one of the benefits of you, Abe, being an independent financial advisor. You are not at the mercy of any kind of company, bank, whatever, telling you what to do. Get out there and sell this product, Abe. No, you're looking at every individual person saying, does this work for you?
Right. And as a fiduciary advisor and fiduciary firm, we want to be able to offer a menu of investments and options and products that is pretty comprehensive, that's not limited, that where clients can choose. Hey, I want it all in the market, or I want some in the market and some out, or I want to have some money at the bank, I want to have some money at an insurance company. Diversify where the dollars are, how the dollars are invested. And then the dollars should be diversified and invested to serve different purposes. So the article says, take a 401k or TSP and buy an annuity with it. Well, that might be appropriate. It's not like everyone needs or wants an annuity, right? I mean, maybe all your retirement income needs are met and you just don't need an annuity or want an annuity. Oftentimes, all of someone's retirement income is not met. And they need income from the nest egg, right, to sit on top of pension or Social Security. Yeah, annuities can oftentimes be a right fit inside a portfolio for a piece of the portfolio. Again, you start thinking about going from pure growth, pure pedal to the metal, to growth and income. And then you start thinking about, all right, well, on this side of the house, on this side of the plan, what are the instruments that I can go to in the fixed income category that are not stocks, that are not growth-focused funds and ETFs? What can I go to? What's in the fixed income category? Well, obviously bonds, right? You can choose any kind of bond. You can choose an annuity. A money market, I guess, could be considered pretty safe investment. A treasury, a government treasury might be paying a little bit over 4%, CDs and things like that. As you start thinking about growth and income, as you start looking to put together a portfolio that is more growth and income minded, it can't be 100% stocks. It can't be, or probably shouldn't be 80, 90% stocks, because then the focus is just pretty much or predominantly growth. So if you need or want income, or need or want protection and safety built into the portfolio, certain types of annuities can be a decent fit. Specifically at Abich, we'll use fixed rate annuities and fixed indexed annuities. A fixed rate annuity currently might pay 4%, 4.5%, 4.7%, again, similar to what a CD in the bank might currently pay, similar to what a money market fund might currently pay, probably a little bit more than you could get on a CD in a bank or a money market right now. And a fixed rate annuity might be appropriate for someone who comes in with tons of extra cash, who says, Abe and the team, I can get 3.6 at Capital One 360 right now, or I can get 4% on a money market fund, or I can get 4% on a CD at Bank of America right now, but can I get 4.25 somewhere? Can I get 4.5? Can I go somewhere where I can buy a 2-year product, a 3-year product, and get a little bit more yield? Well, yeah. The answer is yes, you can.
Okay.
That's where a fixed rate annuity might come in. A fixed indexed annuity, most people need in retirement stocks and bonds, growth and income, right? Growth and safety, risk and safety. And that's where a fixed indexed annuity might come in as a nice bond alternative.
Okay.
If we think about what we might earn on the fixed income side of the portfolio and in bonds, it might be somewhere between 3 and 6%, 3 and 5%. If you look at the Vanguard Bond ETF, it's called BND, ticker symbol B as in boy, N as in Nancy, D as in dog. And you look at what BND has earned and made the last 18 years in a row on average, it's less than 3%. Yet this is where most retirees have parked 30 to 40% of their nest egg. This is where most firms out there are recommending you sock away 30 to 50% of your assets in bond ETFs, making 3 to 4%.
Yeah.
So what if instead we could find a vehicle where we're making or have the opportunity to make maybe 4 or 5, a little bit more, with more safety, more protection, and less cost?
Right.
Now we have a good bond alternative, and that could be a good growth-focused fixed indexed annuity as the bond alternative.
Okay.
And then finally, the article talks about
Speaking
using
of bonds.
Using bonds. Yeah. Using bonds for additional income and stocks for growth. So I'll try to explain this.
Okay.
At most phase one firms, so you know the big name retirement planning firms in this country, at most phase one firms, they'll use a pretty decent combination of stocks and bonds. Now, some of the aggressive firms out there will be like 90% stocks, 100% stocks, and that firm or those types of firms are only going to appeal to certain investors,
right?
Very aggressive investors. But most retirees, if they're working at a phase one firm, they're going to use a combination of stocks and bonds.
Okay.
And a common allocation is 60-40 stock bond mix. 60% stocks, 40% bonds, more allocated to growth, less allocated to income. Pretty healthy combination for a lot of retirees. Again, we just explained kind of the negatives of bond funds, low yields, and when interest rates rise, bond values can and will fall. In 2022, that BND Vanguard bond ETF I just mentioned a minute ago lost 15% in 1 year. Losing 15% on the safe side of our clients' portfolios is not safe to us or safe to our clients. And in addition, if you're only going to make 3% and have the risk to your principal, where you can be down 5, 10, 15%, that's also not what our clients are looking for.
Right.
So while bonds might be present in our portfolio, it's typically short-term bonds. You'll see a lot of 1 to 3 month fixed income, T-bills and treasury bonds.
Okay.
Right now, as of the time of this recording, they are still paying over 4%, but we'll use very short-term bonds at this point. In the market. And just for small pieces of the portfolio. In fact, those are pieces of our tactically managed ETF portfolios. I think the big picture here, if you're watching this video podcast right now, is that you need to have that mindset shift and switch, if you haven't already, from pure growth, pure accumulation to both growth and income. Naturally, as you're having that change of heart and mindset, you want to start thinking about protection. You want to start thinking about taking all these assets you've just built for the last 40 years and turning them into income, that juicy paycheck that you can enjoy over the rest of your life. Think paychecks and playchecks. What do I want to spend my money on? How do I turn this nest egg into income? What's the best way to do that? And continue to dream about what you want to do in retirement.
And this is what Abe has spent his days and nights and, if we're being honest, weekends and holidays thinking about for many years, devoting his life to helping you understand how to create juicy checks for yourself, paychecks for yourself in retirement, and has gone so far as to write a book. The Retirement Mountain, The 7 Steps to a Long-Lasting Retirement is Abe's book, published within the last year. Hasn't been out that long, but we do have lots of ways for you to get a hold of the book, because Abe, number one goal with this, with the book and with the planning process they want to educate you and inform you so that you have an understanding. This is your nest egg. You've worked so hard. You've done an amazing job. You've gone to this place and you deserve to now know where to head with this nest egg for the years ahead. So the Retirement Mountain, The 7 Steps to a Long-Lasting Retirement, Abe, and I was looking at it because we were talking about obviously income, and part 4 of this book is about the descent after you've gotten to that peak in the working years. And now comes the descent headed down the Retirement Mountain. And the first step, you say, develop an income plan. And that's what we started this conversation with, the idea of withdrawal and income to create that juicy paycheck.
That's right. We want to help you get the income you want and need. We want to help you get that money out so you can go about and spend it and live the retirement years of your dreams. Yeah.
Well, you have worked very, very hard to get here. You deserve that. So again, working to get you this information and education, lots of ways for you to get your hands on the book. It is sold on Amazon. We've got links posted in the show notes that will take you to our page on the website. Anybody that comes in to begin the review process with Abish Financial will get a complimentary copy of the book. We also have the opportunity for you to download a PDF again on the website. We've got links posted in the show notes of this podcast if you want to learn more about how to get the book, and also, of course, start that conversation with Abe and his team about your own plan, one that's customized to you and your goals for the years ahead. It starts at theretirementkey.com is our website, where you can go anytime or just click on the links we've got posted in the show notes.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abich. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit theretirementkey.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. Abish Financial Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor with the SEC. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and the content of this communication has not been approved or verified by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission or by any state securities authority. The information contained in this material is intended to provide general information about Abish Financial Wealth Management and its services. It is not intended to offer investment advice. Investment advice will only be given after a client engages our services by executing the appropriate investment services agreement. Information regarding investment products and services are provided solely to read about our investment philosophy and our strategies.